Hi, my name's Tim Weetort, Senior Software Developer at Gerstco. Today we're going to take a look at Gerstco's latest tool for AP development, DVAAPBase. We had 4 key goals when designing DVAAPBase, first one being ease of use. We made the interface a step-by-step single-screen system that was very easy to understand and navigate. Installation, flexibility. We have many clients who work on standalone workstations while others have multi-user networks, so DVAAPBase can be deployed in either of these types of environments. Extensive reporting. We developed a unique reporting system that combines standard reports with the flexibility of an ad hoc reporting engine. The result is a very powerful reporting engine that's also very easy to use. Security. Due to the sensitivity of employee information, security was a top priority. Windows authentication and second layer dataset passwords provides robust security in DVAAPBase. Let's look at some of the key features in our new product. Affirmative action planning for Section 503 in VEVRA was the key function in here. A complete set of compensation analyses. We have a flexible set of analyses for discrimination testing in the IRA tool, and also the ability to generate EAAPs, which is a complete AAP in PDF format, and also the customizable reporting system that we already mentioned. So in this demonstration, I'd like to take a look at how to navigate the software, managing data sets, importing and editing data, and the primary focus of the demo will be on reporting, since that's where the key functions of DVAAPBase reside. If we have time, we'll touch on some of the application settings too. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so here we are in DVAAPBase. I already have a data set open. On this first page, I can open data sets. I can make copies of them as backups, or I can delete them. Data sets are stored in a SQL Server database, either locally on the workstation or on a server. Database access uses standard Windows authentication, as well as passwords on each dataset for 2 layers of security. Since I already have a dataset open, I can reach the other steps in the interface. I can jump directly to a step using the links here at the top of the screen, or I can walk through the steps sequentially using the next and back buttons here at the bottom of the screen. If you need any help with any of the functions in DVAAPBase, we've developed a complete video training course that can be reached just by clicking the help button here at the top of the screen. And all the training is broken down into several segments, about 5 minutes each. Typically, a new user can walk through all the training in about 2 hours and become very comfortable using all the features of DVAAPBase. Let's take a look at the next step here. Now this is the importing data step. I already have all of the key files imported into this data set, and their current counts are shown in this dashboard. These are the key types of data that can be imported and analyzed in DVAAPBase. You have workforce data. That's a snapshot of all the employees on a specific date. And several sets of activity data. You have applicants, hires, promotions, terminations, transfers, and accommodations. These are the activities that took place during the activity period. Each data set contains all the relevant data for 1 year's reporting. So each year, a new data set will be created and populated with the workforce and activities for that year. Now, each type of data is imported from a CSV file. We chose CSV as our import file format since it's a universal format that every database and HR system can easily produce. CSV files are also easily reviewed and managed using Excel before importing into DVAAPBase. Let me show you, for example, the applicant file that I'll be importing. This file contains 1 record for each applicant, and we'll be bringing that in. There's about 48,000 applicants in this particular file. Although I already have all the data files imported into this data set, I wanted to show the import process by importing the largest file used in this particular data set, the applicant file we just took a look at. The file that we'll be importing contains about 48,000 applicant records, and we'll select the applicant file here. Now, since I already have applicant data in this data set, I'll be asked if I want to overwrite the existing applicant data or add the imported data to the data set. I'll be overwriting the existing data. And we'll select the applicant file and start the import. Now, while it's doing the importing, I just want to point out the import process that we use in DVAAPBase. You'll probably notice that there's not a whole lot of effort required to do this import of about 48,000 records. The reason for this is the simplicity of the import process that we've developed. We have a very well-defined import file format, and that allows DVAAPBase to very quickly identify and import all of the data with a high degree of accuracy. We provide a detailed description document of the import file format, and I'll be touching on that at the end of the demo. So now it's concluding, and it shows that it imported about 48,000 records. Next step in the interface is for data editing. Each button here allows the corresponding data to be viewed and edited. Let's take a look at the workforce file. So you can see we have an Excel-like grid interface here that provides access to each of the types of imported data. This allows for editing the data, deleting records, and adding new records. Also on this step, you'll notice that there's a button labeled with CSV next to each type of data. With one click, these allow you to export the corresponding data as a CSV file. I'll export the workforce data that we just looked at. And you can say the data is very quickly exported from DVAAPBase to use in other systems. The final step in the process is reporting. Now, the primary focus of DVAAPBase is to provide the required reports and analyses for Section 503 and VEVRA, that is, individuals with disabilities and veterans. However, DVAAPBase also includes a complete set of compensation analyses, as well as impact ratio and statistical significance analyses for discrimination testing. All reports can be printed either to the selected printer, in hard copy. They can be output as PDF files, or Word files, or Excel files. Let me show you some of the key reports available for veterans and individuals with disabilities. The Workforce Detail Report provides a by-name listing of employees. The details shown for each employee are fully customizable, as is the sort order and the grouping of the report. As I prepare to generate the Workforce Detail Report, let me pause here on this next step. I wanted to show you some of the report customization options that are available for every report. You have the option to modify the title shown on the report, as well as add a subtitle. You can control whether or not page numbers are shown on the report. You can also specify the effective date shown in the report header. DVAAPBase also provides a large area in the header of every report where several lines of custom text can be displayed. That can be entered here in the header notes area. Also, a custom footnote can be shown at the bottom of every page, and it can be entered here. If you want to limit the reporting to a specific subset of the data in the data set, custom filters can also be specified and defined here. All these report customization options provide ease of use of a standardized report engine, along with flexibility of an ad hoc reporting system. As a result, it doesn't really require an analyst or an IT expert to quickly produce very sophisticated reports and to explore a wide variety of cuts of data. So now as I prepare to preview the Workforce Detail Report, I have the option of generating a single report showing the entire workforce by using the whole company option, or I can produce one or more focused reports using the focused report option here. Generating focused reports gives you the power to quickly produce one or more reports with just a few clicks. As you can see here, I've decided to produce this workforce report by establishment. This particular data set has 103 establishments, as it's shown here. So I can select one or more establishments just by clicking or shift clicking or control clicking. Or I can select all of them just by clicking the All button here. And that would allow me to produce all one report for each of the establishments, all 103 establishments. So let me just, we'll just take a look at one report here. Let's take a look at the Anaheim establishment. And here's the workforce detail report for that establishment. As you can see, all reports can be smoothly scaled in the preview option. You can also see that I selected the group to group this report by job group, and those are shown here, highlighted in bold. And then the employee details for each person. It shows all the detail fields that I selected. Now the steps to set up and run every other report are very similar. Let's take a look at the workforce detail or summary report right now. Now this report shows head counts for each job group. Let's take a look for Anaheim. So you can see the head counts are grouped by, in this case, by job group, and we also have a breakdown by race and sex. Also shown are the head counts of veterans and individuals with disabilities. Now the activity detail and summary reports have similar layout as the workforce detail reports, but the display details, cut that. The activity detail and summary reports have a similar layout as the workforce reports, but display the details for the selected activity. Let me show you the hires report as an example. Let's look at the hires summary. As you can see, like the workforce report, we have a breakdown by race and sex, head counts, but these are for the activities, in this case hires. Now all of the veteran reports are available under this tab here. This includes the data collection reports and the veteran benchmark reports. The data collection report has two main variations, the current year report or the 3-year trend report, which shows 3 years of data side by side. We're going to take a look at the standard current year report. The data collection report provides the required counts of overall job openings, applications, and selections, and a breakout of veteran applicants and selections. The veteran benchmark is another required VEVRA report. Let's take a look at that. The benchmark report shows the counts of applicants and hires in each grouping, as well as the counts of veteran applicants and hires. The bottom line total indicates whether or not the benchmark hiring percentage for veterans was reached. In this case, the 7% benchmark was in fact reached, since the percentage of hired veterans was 26%. The disabled utilization report is the primary report for individuals with disabilities. I'll take a look at that report right now. The utilization report shows workforce counts for each grouping and the representation of employees with disabilities. At the rightmost column, it indicates whether or not the 7% goal was met for each grouping. All of veteran and disabled reports can be printed individually, as I've just demonstrated. However, the most convenient way to produce the required documentation for Section 503 in VEVRA is to use DVAAPBase's EAAP function. The EAAP is a name that Gerstco has trademarked, and it describes an electronic affirmative action plan. An EAAP is a formatted, bookmarked PDF file that contains all of the required narratives and reports. In this case, it contains the reports and analyses addressing Section 503 and VEVRA regulations. Now, in these EAP options, all of the required reports and narratives by default are included in the EAP. These options you see here allow the inclusion of additional supporting reports as well. Also, page numbers can be applied to the final PDF file. Let's go ahead and generate the EAP for Anaheim. Now, what DVAAPBase is doing right now is running each of the required reports. It's using the settings that I've specified already. It's making PDF versions of those reports. It's also taking all the narrative documents and customizing those with the company name, plan dates, and other specifications from this data set. Now, all of these are then combined into two PDF files, an analysis volume and a narrative volume. That's completed. Let's take a look at the resulting PDF files. So here are the resulting 2 volumes of this EAP. This is the narrative volume. It includes all the customized documents in a bookmarked PDF. All the company names and contact information are all inserted for a personalized set of documents. And all of the EAPs include cover pages and table of contents. And here's the analysis volume. This includes all of the required analyses and the corresponding report descriptions for all of the analyses. So I just demonstrated generating the EAP for a single establishment, but I could just as easily have selected all of the establishments by clicking the button here, and I could, with one click, I could produce 103 EAPs very quickly. It's a great, powerful feature in DVAAPBase. Now let's focus on the compensation reports in DVAAPBase. We'll take a look at the pay discrepancy report. Now this highlights cases where one group of employees is being paid less than another group by a certain percentage or dollar amount. Let me point out that in all the compensation reports, you are allowed to specify any numeric field in the workforce data to analyze. Most of the time, annual pay would be the area of attention. However, you could also analyze other compensation data such as bonus pay, overtime pay, commission pay, or one of the custom numeric fields. Now the pay discrepancy report allows you to specify up to 4 thresholds for highlighting pay discrepancies, and you can also control the color of the highlighting that will be used on the report. I currently have 4 thresholds set, ranging from 12 down to 2%. There's also a number of variations of this report. There's a standard report that compares females to males and minorities to non-minorities. The all race or ethnicity report compares each race to the most favored race in each grouping. And likewise, the all gender report detects discrepancies for males or females. And the custom comparison report allows any 2 people groups to be compared. So let's take a look at the standard report. Now for each job group in this, you can see the head counts for females and each minority. And where there's a pay discrepancy, the mean pay difference and percentage difference are shown. And the discrepancies are highlighted according to the amount of discrepancy from the settings that we set up in the report settings. The compensation flags report looks at each grouping and compares the average pay of male and females or minorities to non-minorities, and where there's a percentage difference of at least 5%, the number of affected employees is noted. So on the report we have the average compensation for males and females, the percentage difference between the two, and then if that percentage difference is greater than 5%, the number of employees affected by that pay difference. The results are then summarized on the last page, indicating the results of the 3 main measurements: the number of groupings with pay difference, the percentage of females affected by pay differences, and the male pay differences versus the female pay differences. The statistical significance report computes the statistical difference between the mean pay of females and males and minorities and non-minorities. We'll preview that report now. Now where there's a standard deviation difference of over 2 standard deviations, the result is highlighted in red as you see here. The statistical significance report would be considered a more focused analysis after the pay discrepancy report. Now the cohort report is primarily a listing of employees with details within each grouping. Now I've sorted this report by pay in ascending order. And this allows you to compare the employees and determine possible causes for pay differences. The mean pay of the groups being compared are shown at the top, and then all the details for the employees in this grouping. So this is by job title, so the job title is indicated here, and all the employees that are in this job title. pay summary report provides on a one page a combination report that shows both the statistical significance results and the pay discrepancy results. The overall demographics for the establishment are shown at the top, the percentage and headcounts of the incumbency. And then the number of groupings with pay discrepancies are shown in the middle. And the number of grouping discrepancies of different severities are indicated here. And at the bottom we have the number of statistically significant pay differences in the groups. It's a nice overview of the whole establishment on one page. Another compensation-related report is the response to paragraph 19. Now, this is an Excel file listing of employee details in the workforce. So if I produce this now, if I preview it for Anaheim, you'll notice that nothing is shown on a screen. There's no report shown, but it indicates that it's produced the file in a CSV output folder. Let's go ahead and take a look at that file. So here's the resulting file. The file has records for each employee. It includes all the compensation-related employee information such as annual pay, bonuses, overtime pay, etc. The final report we're going to look at today is the IRA and SS reports. This allows DVAAPBase to provide a powerful tool for discrimination testing. The IRA SS analysis combines on one report the impact ratio analysis and the statistical significance analysis for any of the employee activities, hires, promotions, transfers, and terminations. So any two people groups can be compared, but we're going to take a look at females versus males. There are many ways to focus the analysis on just the area of interest. You can limit the analysis of your activities that occurred just in a certain time period. And you can also filter independently the activity data and the pool data, focusing on just the information that you want to include. So let's take a look at this analysis. So here's the IRA and SS final report. Now the report shows the number of applicants and hires in each grouping, and the selection rates for males and females. And when the selection rate for females is below 80%, the impact ratio is highlighted as you see here. The expected number of selections is shown, and the statistical significance results from the Fisher exact test and the standard deviation test. If statistically significant impact were indicated, they would be highlighted in red. Gerstco provides a Excel file template format for all of the import files that come into DVAAPBase. That's the workforce, hires, promotions, transfers, terminations, applications, and accommodations. Let's take a look at that document right here. So as you can see, each file is identified and the required and optional fields for every file. And we also have a much more detailed document that goes into full descriptions of every field. Something new in DVAAPBase are the options to acquire and store accommodation information and outreach and good faith efforts tracking information as well. That concludes our demo today, and if you need any more information about Gerstco or any of our products, feel free to use any of this contact information you see on the screen here. You can visit us in Campbell, call us, or visit our website. Thanks. Have a great day.